Hello everyone. So in today's video, we will be covering 4 or 5 topics, right? Which will be including the visualization of my data, right? So here I marked down those topics. One is the table join, right? And this we have inner, left, right, outer joins. Then we have groups, sets, calculated fields and parameter. Okay, let's first we'll be first looking into the groups and then we will go on sets. Okay. Perfect. So let's open the Tabula tool, right? So let's first look at the tables, like how to join them. So to join the tables, all you have to do is just drag this order in this particular section. Okay. Double click on orders. You will get in this particular section now. Now, from which table you want to join, just drag that table in that particular section. Okay. So here you can see you have multiple options, which is your inner join, left join, right join, outer join. Accordingly, you can set the join. Okay. Whichever join you want. Perfect. So let's move forward with our next part, which is group. Okay. So table join, I hope you guys are aware of like why we use joins, like why we join multiple tables and everything. Okay, so just to overview, we are joining is this based on the order ID, right? You can see like from the data source, I am selecting my order ID here, and from the return section, I am selecting the order ID. You can change it if you have some different values in your database, in your data. Okay, let's move forward. Let's have a look at the group. Okay, what they are and how to use them, right? So let's go into the order part. I will drag this here and open my sheet. Okay. So, what is group? Group is helpful if we want to categorize our our values. Okay. So let's take an example. Let's say I have states. Okay. I have multiple states here. I will drop it inside my column and let's get the profit of individual state. So here you can get the individual state profit, right? So you have multiple states. But let's say my company want to categorize my state based on the tax that particular state government is imposing on my goods, right? So for example, let's say Alabama, Arizona, right? They have like some individual tax category. The state in this particular the government in this particular state is imposing me some particular amount of tax, right? So what I'm going to do is, and I want to have a look at the profit based on the state-wise categorization, right? So I categorize my state, and then I will see the profit on that categorization. Okay, so to do that, what you have to do is get into the state section, go into the create part, and get into the group, right? So in this group, let's say you have some set of values. Let's say till District Columbia, okay, or not District Columbia. You select some states. Let's say these states you selected, okay, and like let's say the government in these states are imposing 10% tax on your goods, okay. So you group them and let's say you name them state one, which is imposing 10% tax. Okay. You click on apply and there is a group that is created. Okay. So instead of them as a state, now you will be getting a group. So you categorize them, right? Now let's say you created another group. Okay. And in this group, this state government, state, let's say S2, and they are imposing a tax of 15%. Okay. Now you click OK. And if I go in my, if you see this part, right, there is the state group that is created. Okay. Let's rename it, get into the edit group part, and I'm going to name it as state categorization. State categorization. Okay. And I click on apply and okay. Perfect. Now, instead of state, let's remove state from here and I'm going to drop the state categorization dimension, right? Now see, we have created two sections, right? One is S1, another one is S2, right? So what we are seeing now is that our states are categorized in these two parts. So if I see on my category one, where the government, state government is imposing 10% of my taxes, I'm getting a profit of 15,000, right? Similarly, on my state two, right? I'm getting a profit of 71,000 where the state government is imposing 15%, right? So you can see like I can like just get an analysis out of it that in my this particular state one category, right? S1 category, my government is imposing 10% tax, but there is still I am getting a less profit as compared to the government, which is in category 2, which is imposing 15%, and there I am getting a profit of 71,000 something, right? So there may be a chance that the demand in that state is very much high of my goods, and that is the reason the state government is imposing that much percentage of tax on my goods, isn't it? So these are the way where you can these are the way where you can see the data visualization, right? So you can clearly get an idea, okay, that may be the reason, right? So you can look into this particular category why you are not getting that much profit and so on, right? Perfect. So this particular sheet here will look at the state, right? Now let's move forward. Let's move forward to the group part. Okay. So we are done with the join. Okay. And we are done with the groups. Perfect. Groups are done. Now let's get into the set. What are sets? So let's create a new sheet. Perfect. Now let's do the same thing. We will be dropping state in my row section. Okay. And I'm getting profit in my column section. Perfect. Now change this thing. Okay. So I swap the rows and the columns. Change my view to entire. Perfect. Now let's see what set does. Right. So I go inside my state and I go and create and I create a set. See, so what sets are doing? Now you have multiple options here: general, condition, and top. Okay, so let's first have a look at my condition part. Okay, so once you click on my by field, you will see a profit and a sum. Perfect. Now let's say you want states that are having profit greater than, let's say, 10,000. Okay. Now sets are basically in and out kind of thing. So there are two sets that will be created. One that will put your data inside and one that will put your data outside. Perfect. So if your profit is greater than 10,000, it will be in a single set. The one which have less than equal to 10,000, it will be in another cell. Perfect. Now I click on OK. Once I drop this set in my state, here you can see your data is divided into two sections. One is the inner section, another one is the outer section. I hope you are getting this point, right? So on the left side, you are getting the inner set and the outer set is on the right side. So the one that you created for 10,000 profit, right? So you can see on this particular left hand side, you are getting all the 10,000s one. On the right side, you are getting the lesser one. Perfect. So your set divided your data in two categories. Now, if you drop this particular set in filters, right, and click on apply, okay, just go inside this and show filter. Now you have all the options available here that are less than 10,000, greater than 10,000, and all everything. So I just want to know my inner set, right? Inner matlab the states that where I am getting a profit of greater than 10,000. So here you can see these are my states. I just want to have a look at them, right? Now, now the business want to look at those state only which are having less than 10,000 profit. I can just have a look at that also, right? So this way you can just view it out. I created this for 10,000, right? You can just set it, let's say, instead of setting 10,000, you set here, we will set 0. Okay. So if it is greater than 0, it would be in, and else it would be out. Perfect. So if in my in section now, I am getting only the positive one where I am getting a profit, right? Now I just want to have a look at my negative one, the states where I am not getting the profit, where I am getting a loss, right? So here you can just have a look at the states where you get getting a loss. Perfect. So this is what sets do. Sets basically divide your data into the in and out sections. Perfect. Now let's do another thing. There is another option in my set. Let's go inside this. Where it is? Click edit set. Now in your top section, like right now, click on none, and in your top, let's select top by field value. Perfect. So now you want your top 10 states based on profit. In the previous one, I'm putting the value over there, right? So I'm getting the states that are giving me the profit above 10,000 and that are giving me profit below 10,000. Now I'm selecting my state based on the quantity, right? So I just want my top, let's say, top 20 states with the profit sum. Perfect. Now, once you click on apply and you click on OK, now your data set is divided into two sections again, in and out. Perfect. Your inner part is having states, the top 20 states, right? The outers are getting the states that are below, that are not in the top 20 categories. Okay, so you segregated your data based on the top and the bottom one. So top 20 states in one section, and top bottom the rest of the states are in another section. So this is what sets do, right? So I hope we are clear on the set part. Let's move forward. Now this one, right? This is going to be a bit trickier, a little complex, right? But it's an important one because it is widely and most popularly used. Perfect. So this will take a little time also for us to understand. Let's get into it. Perfect. Let's create a new sheet. So here you can see I mentioned two things in one. First, we will be looking into the calculated field, and then we will go into the parameter section. Okay. So let's create a new calculated field. So what is a calculated field? Calculated field is nothing. It's just a new field which you create based on your data that you already have. So for example, here you have discount, profit, quantity, sales, right? Orders count, everything. Now you want some new quantity, right? Which will be derived from these quantities, right? So, but you don't have here. So what you will do, you will create a calculated field. Okay, that can help you to visualize your data based on that field only. I hope you are getting my point. So let's go ahead and create a calculated field. Just click on this section and click a create calculated field. Okay. Now let's get a field. Let's get sales and profit. Okay. Let's create a margin where you are getting maximum margin, right? uh, Margin as in like you are getting the profit already, right? So the profit and you have a sale. Sale is that much amount, right? Let's say, so on a particular sale, you get a particular profit, right? So on a particular item, let's say you get that much profit. Perfect. Now we don't know the purchasing value, right? At what amount I purchased that product. I have the selling price, I have the profit, I have the discount, right? But I don't have the value with which I purchased from the company. As a retailer, I don't know what the value of what value I purchased it, right? So let's get the value as purchase value. Okay. Now, what would be my purchase value? My purchase value would be simply the sale. Okay. And on that sale, I created a profit, right? So if I subtract profit from it, I get the actual value of that item that I have, right? You can like think of it on your end whether the amount, this purchase value amount is what, right? So it is basically the initial amount with which you purchase that item. Okay, you click on OK and apply. Now let's go into the product section. Where is your product name? Okay, instead of product name, let's get into the subcategory part. That would be more categorized. Okay, and change it to this way. Let's go into the purchase value. Click on entire view and let's create this particular graph. Perfect. So now you can see, go into the entire view, you can see chairs, right? Yeah, the value, the purchasing value of chair is most, right? And the purchasing value of fasteners is least, right? So this is like a new field that you created just to check like which particular category of yours. Just a second. Okay. So you created this set of where we were. So you created this particular calculated field. Okay. And let's move forward. So you have this field now. Now let's have a look at other values also. Now you want to see the sales also. Okay. Now see this. Let's change this graph to this particular graph. This would be more, much better, right? For you to visualize. Now, if you see the sale and the purchase value, right? So you have the profit in individual cells, right? So you are basically selling the chairs at 3,28,000. That is the total amount that you sell and you purchase them on 3,01,000 something, right? Now let's get the profit out of them also, right? So drop the profit in this section and change it in the view again to this, right? Now see one thing. If you are seeing this on your on your chairs, right, where we were getting the maximum sale, right? The profit is very less. I hope you are getting my point, right? So if you see the paper part, right? See this paper section, right? You are selling them at 78,000 and from which you are earning 34,000, right? Now, if you look at machines, you are, although the sale is very high, but the profit is very less, right? So, when you are selling the papers, you are gaining a great profit with a lesser sell. I hope you are getting my point, right? So, why was it? Because the margin is bigger. You are purchasing that item on a value and selling it on a bigger value, and your margin is really good. I hope you are getting my point, right? So there will be a scenario where just you want to look at your profit based on margins, right? So here we can clearly see that even though my chairs are, I'm selling my chairs, right? Chairs, the selling value of chairs is highest, right? But still, it is giving me 26,000 profit only. And if I see in my papers, they are giving me 34,000 on a sale of 78,000 only. So it's not like my papers are giving me something bad out of the stock that I have. I mean, I'm getting a brilliant profit, right? So this is the use of your calculated field. There may be a field that is not present in your database and you want to create it from or drive it from the existing values, right? Just to check it out or to visualize something new on your data. Perfect. So this is what calculated field do. Now let's move forward and have a look at our last topic for today, which is the parameters. Okay. So parameter is really an interesting thing. Okay. This kind of provides a dynamic interaction to your dashboard. The dashboards we discussed last class, right? Parameters are providing you an interface where you can directly interact with your data. let's move forward and have a look at it so that you get a proper understanding of it, right? So let's do one thing, create a parameter, okay? And in my parameter, let's say I don't, so here I don't want to specify the number of top profit states, right? So if you memorize, right? So just in the starting of the class we created sets, right? In sets we set up the profit and loss. So if you remember it, once we go and create sets, right? In the top part we selected top 10, right? Now let's say you don't want to put it as static, right? That would be static, right? In and out. But that would be only on 20. But you want it to be dynamic. You want to change it from your dashboard, right? So to do that, what we do, we use parameters. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are first going to create a parameter. Let's say my top city. Okay. And change float to integer value. Click on range, minimum let's say 5, and maximum cities, let's say I want 50. Okay, this is my current value. This would be my display that I'm going to display. Click on OK and go here and show parameter. Okay, so here you can select the count, like the number of top cities you want. So this is just a value that you will be fitting in your sets. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the city section, drag it here, okay? And now I'm taking the profit and dropping it in my column. Just swapping the rows, perfect. Changing it to the entire view part, perfect. Now, here's the interesting thing. I don't want all the cities, right? So if I look at it, I'm changing here, but there is nothing that is changing on this part. So I have to link my parameters to my city. So to do that, you have to go here, create set, okay? Get into the condition top by field instead of 10. Now once you click on it, you will see a parameter here, top cities that you already created. You select the top cities. Perfect. So now you will be getting top 10 cities or top 20 cities according to the field that you will select here. Click on OK, right? And you drop this city in this section. Perfect. I hope you are getting my point. Now, if you see on the left part, right, you are getting 36 cities that are inside and rest of the cities are outside. So if you change this 36 to let's say 18, now these remains 18, right? Now what you can do, you can drag it in your filter, right? So once you drag this in the filter section, click on apply, okay, and let's say you want to show it. Okay. Now you just want to have a look at your inner cities. So you want top 25 cities, you want top 29 cities, you want top 35, top 42. Now you are controlling this from this particular toolbar here, right? Your graphs are changing so fast. Okay. Now you want not the top, but the rest of them, right? So you want the cities. So top 14 you removed and the remaining of the cities are there in your graph, right? So if you select some particular random Houston is giving you a very really bad loss, right? You are getting a loss of minus 10,000 in Boston, right? So this is the way parameters can help you. They are providing a dynamic interface to your dashboards. So for example, your business team just want you not to look at the 10, but they want a random order, right? They just want a random view on the dashboard. So that way you can just interact and get the values out from there, right? Now, this is just the top cities. Okay, let's do one interesting thing here. We will create another parameter. Um, I hope let's do it. Let's do this one. This one would be more interesting. We will be doing the same thing. Okay, we will be creating a parameter. So this is what the parameter do, right? So this is like here. I hope you are aware of what are parameters and everything. There is one more thing which would be very interesting in parameters only, right? So I just want you to have a look at it also. Okay. Let's create a parameter, right? Now, instead of getting the top cities, I am going to define the profit. Okay. So, for example, I am going to say I want to see the cities where I am getting a profit of greater than 20,000. Okay. Or I am getting, I want the states where I am getting 19,000, right? So, there are n number of values, right? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to define that in my parameter. Perfect. So, let's go and profit values. Okay. Change it to integer, get into the range minimum. Let's say minimum can be like, so there will be a loss, right? So minimum can be 10,000. Okay. And maximum, let's say the maximum value can be 20,000. Okay. So I'm going to move, then not change it to 10,000. Okay. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Display format. Let's first display format remains automatic. Change the value to 10,000. Let's start with 10,000. Okay. No, 1,001. Okay. Create this one. Profit by values. Okay. And show parameter. Let's first remove. So I am going to remove this particular top cities one. Now we will be looking into the profit by values. Okay. So to remove the entire dashboard, the entire view, I remove this. And okay, let's do one thing. Let's create another sheet, right? Instead of removing this thing out, let's create show parameter हटा दो. Let's remove this thing out, and we're going to create another sheet. Okay, so let's show it. Show parameter. Here I have the values, but currently it is nothing is on our dashboard right now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm dragging my city here. I'm dragging profit in my columns, changing the view of it, and change it to entire view, right? Now I have to link this profit to my parameter. Currently nothing is going on here, right? So to do that, what we do, we go in my city, we create a set, right? Change this to city by profit. Okay? Go inside condition, get into the formula part, right? So now what you want profit, right? Sorry, sum of profit, right? Sum of your profit, perfect, to be greater than or equal to the profit values. Looks good. So now your formula is defining that, boss, I am getting only those cities that are dependent on, that are going to be dependent on my profit value that are there in my parameter, right? So I click on OK. Perfect. I am going to drop this in my column, right? Put it before the city. Now you can see on the left part, you are getting all the cities having profit greater than the value you set here. So if I change this to minus 2000, not, let's change it to 142 to get a better view. On the left side you are getting the cities where you are getting a profit above or equal to 142. On the right side, outer side, you are getting only those cities where your profit is less than 142. So let's say you want to see the cities that are performing worst, right? So you set it to this particular value, right? Now we drag this to filter, apply, okay, click here and show sets. Not show sets, let's show filter. Okay, show filter. Now you just have to look at the outer part. See, these are the five, we are getting these five cities that are performing very, very bad, right? Houston we previously saw, right? 10 minus 10,000 profit I'm getting from there. Chicago I'm getting that. So I can change it to above value, right? So let's change it to this value. Let's change it to 1,000, okay? Some 1,000 value. Let's say I want to know like so these are the cities which are giving you a very, very bad losses, right? So here you will be directly interacting with the dashboard, right? Instead of specifying the values, right? Like we did in our sets previously, right? So that is the reason why we use parameter to get an interactive dashboard which is dynamic as well, right? So I hope like we covered everything in today's class, right? Almost everything that we have to do. And I hope you guys learned something amazing today, right? Let's click on OK and finish it here. This looks great. This looks better. Okay. So I hope you guys learned something great, amazing today, right? Implement it on your end. Let me know if you guys have any query